All right, everybody, welcome back. My name's Chris, and I'm here to talk to you about your 2021 goals. Right now, like many of you, I probably fall into the same bucket of there were so many things I was going to do with this extra time in quarantine in 2020, all of these different goals, and not all of them were accomplished. And today I want to talk about why do we not accomplish the goals we set out to do. This is something that everyone falls into that same bucket. Not all of us have the robotic willpower and and just the innate ability to go out and accomplish what we say we're going to do. And I'm here to talk a little bit about my thoughts on why that happens. Right. So starting off, I think one of the most important components of accomplishing your goals is, well, I guess more so why we don't accomplish our goals would be a lack of consequences and discipline. And when you're in school, this is a great analogy. When you're in school and going through, getting your degree, for example, at the end of the tunnel, there's this degree that hopefully will give you the job of your dreams. And so that helps you get through the day-to-day grind of going to class and pop quizzes and research papers, things that, not many of us really enjoy, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Now, when you become a bit older, or even when you're younger, there are goals you want to accomplish that may not have necessarily light at the end of the tunnel, but you dream of what it would be like to reach it. So using myself again, I really enjoy painting miniatures. I play this game called Warhammer 40K, and I'm really fascinated by the lore and the tabletop strategy component, but I really aspire to become a great painter and have these beautiful works of art, on my tabletop. And I've been into the hobby since I was about 12 years old, but my painting skills are nowhere near where I think they could be if I had had that discipline and that, drive to continue working on it when I first started, when I was about 12 or 13 years old. Now, there's no consequence, nowadays. I'm not going to be punished at my job because they know how horrible my edge highlighting is on my models, right? But you understand what I'm trying to get at. Some of our goals that we set out to do, there are no consequences. We don't set up any structure around them. And if they don't happen, it's okay. And I think we need to hold ourselves to a higher standard. And it's still that from the get-go, when we have something we want to accomplish and create a plan around how to accomplish it. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is another reason why I think we fail to accomplish the goals we set out to do. And that is we look too far into the future, and that fantasy, that dream becomes so tantalizing that it becomes obscuring of the small steps needed to reach it. Again, another example from my life is part of my routine day job is computer programming. And while I enjoy what I do and I'm pretty good at what I do, there are other coding languages that if I had them under my belt, they would drastically increase my capabilities, my technical expertise, and could possibly help me, garner increased wages, if I stay with this current company or I choose to transition. Now, while I've been incrementally learning different coding languages, I could be way further along than I am now, but there's not necessarily a consequence. And I also tell myself sometimes, and I'm pretty sure we're all guilty of it, I've worked hard and I deserve it. I'm making fairly good money. I'm enjoying what I do. I can probably just coast and be okay. I think that's a very dangerous mentality to be in. Because once you are comfortable, you're no longer growing. Even right now, doing this YouTube video is very uncomfortable for me. But, I took the time to do the research, took the time to set out a plan, and now I need to execute. Analysis paralysis is a term that I've heard growing up, and it's essentially the act of having so much information and so much plans and so many things that you want to accomplish, or so many factors and knowledge all being compiled into one that you don't exactly know what to do. What's your next step? I'm, for one, very guilty of this. I can make a really thorough and logical and drawn out plan and then minimal execution, at least on certain aspects of my life that I have to, in reality, tell myself and look myself in the mirror and face those facts, right? And I think that's something we all need to do if we want to continue to grow. And I think that ties into not accomplishing your goals because, one, that analysis paralysis component and looking too far into the future, that dream stays a dream, right? A plan without any actionable steps is just a dream. And we don't want to live and continue to dream. We want to execute and have those dreams become reality. Now, last thing I'll leave you with here is the first step that I realized as far as starting 2021 strong is understanding my own flaws when it comes to not holding myself accountable. You hear the term self-discipline thrown around, but I think it needs to be twisted a little bit, and you need to discipline yourself. You need to have that correct code of behavior to really align your goals and your wants with your daily routine, your weekly routine. For example, I started trying to get up at the same time, even on the weekends, so that I could utilize that time in the morning to, work on my craft with, different coding, painting, YouTube, etc. Having all that extra time instead of, sleeping in necessarily till 1 o'clock. Now, there's certain aspects where, for example, working out for me really comes naturally, but when I really think about it, it didn't at first, right? I went through a period of time where I had to really force myself to go. Back when I first started, I had this really strong, why and drive, and I can get into that some other time, but that really helped kind of to instill that into my daily and my weekly routine and just kind of now part of who I am. And I realized that I've become so comfortable with going to the gym, I don't even really think about it. I pretty much just do it out of habit. And I think that's one of the keys, and one of the things you need to realize is that changing your daily routine, your weekly routine, and your mindset throughout those days will be critical in accomplishing all these different goals. Having that long-term dream or goal that you had in 2020 that didn't necessarily get accomplished, I want you to really sit and think about why you didn't. Why were you giving yourself excuses? Why were you procrastinating so long? And then start to construct a plan. Don't spend so much time, building this plan, but, outline what needs to happen, what you need to do, and start small. I'll be doing a second video to follow up in more detail on kind of what I'm doing and what I'm going to try and implement to accomplish my 2021 goals. But for now, I'll leave you here. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and give me any feedback or opinions that you have. I'll be more than happy to chime in with any conversations and just let me know your feedback. I really want to try and get this great content out there, and I have so many thoughts and ideas, and I just need to get in front of this camera and get them out. So thank you, and until next time, see you.